Lucy, the human story begins. Really? Okay. Bill Ludlow today is an atheist, teaches or gives tours, gives kids tours, some museum or university, some museum in Arizona. I forget the name of it now.
You are still confused. I volunteer at the Arizona Museum of Natural History in Mesa, Arizona.
He texted me today on Facebook. You all ought to get on this one. Kent Hovind, the man, the ministry, and the message is where he keeps posting his stuff.
Right. I didn't text you anything. I posted in a Facebook group. Let me give you a little lesson here, Kent. You've called me out or challenged me several times recently on your personal Facebook page, and if it wasn't for your friends forwarding it to me, I would never know. Facebook gives you the option of making your post public or set to friends only. Just click right next to the timestamp and the different options pop up.
He said, thanks for the inspiration, Kent Hovind. I'll dedicate this Wednesday at the museum to talking about Lucy's feet and how we know just what they look like in your honor. So he's going to give tour groups, kids that come through the museum, he's going to give them tours and teach them evolution and about Lucy's feet in my honor. Okay, let me point out a couple of things for you, Bill. I'm going to try to help you tonight. No foot bones were found. None. None. Lucy having human feet is 100% lie. L-I-E, lie. You don't know what the feet look like. Okay.
First of all, they're not human feet, they're Australopithecine feet. I don't know how many times I can tell you this, Kent, but we've found dozens of foot bones from Lucy species. We can reconstruct exactly what they look like.
Okay. They put Lucy, Australopithecus afarensis and africanus and all this stuff in the textbooks like it's somehow proof for evolution. This is what they actually found for Lucy back in 1974. No foot bones were found. Donald Johanson found Lucy 2 weeks before his grant money ran out. He was given money to go over there and find something to support evolution. 2 weeks before he ran out of money, he found something. And they named it Lucy because he was listening to the song that was popular at the time called Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds by the Beatles, which has the initials LSD on purpose. Yeah, okay. This is not really Lucy's knee. This is the Hodari knee that was found a year earlier, 70 meters lower and a mile away. But National Pornographic labeled it Lucy's knee, or Geographic, 5 times. Okay, they're lying. Just plain lying. He said the femur was angled, and that proves Lucy was becoming a human because of the angled femur. Now, hold on just a minute. Apes have a straight leg. Humans have a femur that goes off at an angle, and Lucy's femur was angled. Well, tree-climbing monkeys have an angled femur.
Let's see who's really lying here. I could cite a dozen sources right now that say you're wrong, Kent. Let's see what this one says about monkeys specifically. Non-human primates do not exhibit a bicondylar angle because they lack a single support phase of gait. This is true even for monkeys trained to walk bipedally. I just finished an online course from Dartmouth University on bipedalism, the science of upright walking. Maybe if you had studied this before posting bad information like that, you wouldn't be proven wrong so easily.
So the fact that the femur is angled does not prove it's becoming a human. They said Lucy's knee was slightly bigger than a regular ape's knee. Okay, that doesn't prove it's becoming a human. A Clydesdale horse is slightly bigger than a regular horse, too. Does not prove it's becoming a truck, right? Or a tank or something else. And there are big horses and little horses today. St. Louis Zoo had Lucy on display, probably the same one that Bill's going to put on display. Bill has, I think, 400 followers, okay? Unless he picks on me, and then he gets a bunch of people following him or not.
Well, I'm new to YouTube, but I'm not new to the internet, Kent. Some of the memes that I've made have gone viral and have over 1 million views.
Okay. You ought to get a real job, Bill. Okay.
I have a real job, thank you. And it doesn't involve sitting on YouTube and begging people to send me money either.
No feet or hand bones were found. The purpose of this display that Bill's going to be showing the kids around is for indoctrination. It is for not at all for education. Pure indoctrination. David Minton, professor at Washington University near St. Louis, said the statue is a complete misrepresentation, and I believe they know it is a misrepresentation. The director of the zoo back in '96, when he was told this, said, zoo officials have no plans to knuckle under. We cannot be updating every exhibit based on every new piece of evidence. We look at the overall exhibit and the impression it creates. We think the overall impression this exhibit creates is correct. Yeah, the overall impression is you came from monkeys. And we think that's what kids ought to be taught, whether we have to lie to them or not.
We don't teach children that we came from monkeys. We teach children that we evolved from earlier ape species and a common ancestor with other monkeys. It seems that you don't even know the basics of evolution, Kent.
Getting the point across is more important. They found perfectly normal human footprints in Laetoli, in the ash. Now, human footprints, your toe lines up with your big toe lines up with your other toes. On an ape, it sticks out to the side. They said this proves humans were walking upright 3.75 million years ago. No bones found at all. All they find are footprints. But because they've assigned some fictitious date to these footprints of 3.75 million, oh wow, that proves humans were walking upright. There's all kinds of other common sense ways to look at that.
This is where it gets really good because you don't understand at all what you're talking about or what you're reading here. It says it proves that hominids were walking upright 3.75 million years ago, not humans. Okay? All humans are hominids, but not all hominids are humans. They were clearly talking about Australopithecus. You don't understand this at all.
They said the form of the foot was exactly the same as ours. This is from National Geographic. The weight-bearing pressure patterns in the prints resemble human ones. Footprints so very much like our own. Russell Tuttle, University of Chicago, did the most extensive study of the footprints I'm aware of. And he took 70 people that go barefoot all their life and had them run through ash and through different mediums and make footprints, and he compared them. He said, the 3.5 million year old footprint trail at Laetoli, Site G, resemble those of habitually unshod human beings, modern humans. If you don't wear shoes ever, your foot widens out. None of their features suggest the Laetoli hominids were less capable bipeds than we are. If the footprints were not known to be so old, we would readily conclude they were made by a member of our own genus, Homo. If we didn't know better, we'd think a man made them. Well, how do you know better?
Thank you. What you just did was verify the images of human-like feet on Lucy were accurate. No humans were around then, but her species certainly was. The Laetoli prints are excellent evidence her species were not knuckle walkers like chimps. They had feet almost the same as ours.
Here, National Geographic put dark-skinned, ape-like creatures walking on top of normal human footprints, and they added the toe separation, which wasn't there. Big toe separated. Because, see, this is Ray Comfort, my buddy, he's a front character.
Like two peas in a pod. Or should I say like two apes in a zoo.
Your toes line up with each other. An ape's toe sticks out to the side for grasping. But 4 million years of bipedalism, look at all of the feet are human feet. This is complete propaganda, complete.
Well, you're wrong again. The first few are Australopithecine feet, but they sure look a lot like human feet.
Lie. The various Australopithecines are indeed more different from both African apes and humans in most features than the latter are from each other. There could be some Lucy-type creatures still alive, 3-foot-tall chimpanzee-like animals in Sumatra.
Sure they could. And some of them have beachfront bungalows where they work on their tans. And Bigfoot comes every year in the wintertime. He's a snowbird, you know, and they go golfing at all the different golfing resorts.
This guy said, he's the daddy of us all. Come on, this is absolutely silly. You don't know he's the daddy of anybody. When you find bones in the dirt, you can't prove it had any kids. That's from Daily Mail back in 2003. So I'm going to give you the Hovind theory, and I'm going to use small words so maybe some of you evolutionists can understand. Bill, pay close attention. Read my lips. When you find bones in the dirt, all you know is it died. You cannot prove it had any children. You found bones. You certainly cannot prove it had any children that lived. And you cannot prove it had children that were different than itself. Why would anyone with one eye and half a brain think bones in the dirt can do something that no animal in all of recorded human history can do, which is produce something other than its kind. Nobody has ever recorded any animal or plant producing anything other than its kind. Cows produce cows, sheep produce sheep, people produce people. There are no exceptions. But somehow, in the mind of these evolutionists, they think these bones were capable of doing something that nobody's ever seen.
Is that your problem, Kent? You only have one eye and half a brain? We went over this and over this in our debate, and you still don't get it. Dogs will always give birth to dogs. Animals always produce the same kind. The theory of evolution predicts every species will give birth to the same species, but populations change over time. It's very, very simple.
It would be silly if it weren't so serious. No fossil, none of the fossils would count as evidence for evolution in an honest court of law, if such a one exists. None. So, I'm excited to see what he has to say to his kids as they come through there. Some of you folks that know where he works and work at that, go to that museum, go out there and every time he says something that's not true, call him a liar out loud in the museum, real loud. Tell him Kent Hovind said so.
Yes, please come see me at the Arizona Museum of Natural History, where you can learn the facts about evolution, how we evolved from our ape-like ancestors over the last few million years. Oh, and if Kent sent you, please let me know that too. Thank you, Kent.